Today I will show you how to make a Teru Teru Bozu doll. To calculate the needed stitches and rows I will use ChatGPT. I will need a square piece of fabric and I will use the stitch pattern and the gauge information from the video in which I knitted a water bottle sling. Each side of my square piece of fabric should be 24 centimeters. You can also knit a doily to make this Japanese doll. As you can see, we have all the calculations and the summary is at the bottom. I need to use a total of 63 stitches and knit 205 rows. Now let's go to the knitting machine. First, make sure the racking handle is in its lowest position. Now slide the lock to the left side of the machine. I will raise 62 needles in total, 31 to the left and 31 to the right side of the center. I moved the lock to the left side because I decided to start by making a chain stitch cast on. It can be done by using the trick of it device or the yellow tool. You can check the links in the description to see how to make it. I forgot to mention earlier, but for this project I will use 2 strands of white acrylic yarn. Now I will place the edge springs back on the last working needles and the yarn eyelet in the jaws of the lock. Set the front lock to 1 and the stitch size to 5. The back lock must be set to GX. Now insert the black strippers and knit 1 row. Clear the row counter, then set the front lock to AX and press the left arrow key. On the front bed, raise pushers on the row working needles and arrange them in a 1-to-1 division. Now I will knit the first 10 rows of the square piece. We don't have any working needles on the back bed, so keep an eye on the end stitches. At this point you can drop the front bed and attach 2 weights to the ends of the knitting. Now continue knitting until you reach the row count given by ChatGPT. You have to stop knitting with the lock on the left side of the machine. Now set the front lock to N and press the 0 key to disengage the arrow key and knit 1 row. We are almost ready. I will move the edge springs and I will use the trick of it device to make the cast off. You can also make a chain stitch cast off by using the traditional method. I will use the orange tool to pull the yarn tail through the last stitch and I can remove the knitting from the machine. Don't forget to remove the weights first. This is the fabric piece right after you take it from the machine. The stitch pattern is the same as the one I used for my water bottle sling. The piece is not washed or blocked, but its measurements are 26 by 25 centimeters. I can tell that the calculations of ChatGPT are correct. Now let's ask ChatGPT for one more thing. I will use a Christmas bauble for the doll's head, so I need to knit a tubular piece of fabric that will ensure its color is not visible from underneath. The ball diameter is 16 centimeters, so I will input that into ChatGPT. Again, the summary is at the bottom of the page. So I have to use 49 stitches and knit 69 rows. First, make sure the racking handle is in its highest position. Instead of 49, I will raise 48 needles in total. First, raise 24 needles on the front bed. Now place the edge springs on the end needles. Raise the opposite 24 needles on the back bed and place the edge springs on the last working ones. Now use the orange ruler to arrange the needles in a 1-to-1 division as shown in the video. Then move the edge springs on the last working needles. Set both locks to CX and the stitch size to 1. Insert the black strippers and take the same yarn as for the doll's body. Now knit 2 rows. Increase the stitch size to 4 on both sides of the lock. Raise the rest of the needles on both beds, then move the edge springs to the last working needles. Gently tap on the needles using the orange ruler, then knit 2 rows. Stop after you knit the first row and tap on the needles again. Then knit the second row to finish the cast on. Now increase the stitch size to 5 and knit 70 rows. Don't forget to tap on the needles when knitting the first few rows. I've heard that some people use these dolls to decorate for Halloween, but do you know their history? They are very old small Japanese amulets made of paper or fabric and used against rainy or bad weather. This year there was a lot of rain in my country, so I made 2 of them. Now take the yarn from the lock and cut it. Thread the yarn into the double-eye bodkin tool, move the edge springs and sew off the stitches. Start by taking the stitches on the front bed from right to left, then take off the stitches on the back bed from left to right. When you take the last stitch on the back bed, the knitting will fall from the machine. This is what the tubular piece looks like. We have to pull the Christmas bubble inside and pull both yarn tails to gather the top and the bottom. Then you have to hide the yarn tails. Now take the big fabric piece and fold it as shown in the video. Then pull the corner to mark the center of the piece. Take the Christmas bubble and place it under the fabric. Stretch the fabric around the Christmas bubble, then use the same color yarn and make several knots to form the hat as shown in the video. I will cut one of the yarn tails, then I will use the other one as a hanger. To do that, I will thread it into a blunt needle and I will bring it to the top of the hat. I forgot to mention that ChatGPT is free and it's available even on mobile devices. I recently used it to calculate how much paint I need to buy for my mother's living room. This video is not sponsored or meant to advertise ChatGPT. I'm just showing you a helpful tool that is still free of charge. I will use slightly thicker red yarn to tie around the head of the doll. Don't forget to tell me if you have used these doll amulets against bad weather or if you have only used them as a decoration. Also, I will be happy if you support me by liking or sharing the video. I will make the eyes and the mouth by using black yarn. And this is the final result. Tell me, do you like how my dolls turned out? That's all for today. Have a nice day and see you in my next video.